Astrum with One World Revolution. And hello, everyone, and welcome. I have no idea who's here or who's not. I can't tell what's going on. So it's my first time, and I don't know what's going on, but I hope it's going well. And honestly, that's kind of what tonight's about, right? Just kind of diving in, have a conversation, focusing around the theme of our song Lost. I guess I need to look up there at the webcam. And just seeing what does it mean you're not lost, you're becoming. So, and we got the bad boys roaming the neighborhood here, so bear with me. All the learning curves going on here. So anyhow, I'm reading a script, so forgive me, but if I don't, I won't stay on track, and you won't be liking that. So I'm kind of put it up here, so I stopped looking at myself. So there have been many moments in my life when I felt completely lost, disconnected, like I didn't recognize my own path. And what I've come to realize is you're not actually lost, you're becoming. You're in the middle of something that's shaping you, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. So tonight isn't about having all the answers. It's about having a real conversation about what you're going through, what you're becoming, and how we move through the hard parts without giving up. So if you're here, I'm really glad you showed up. Thank you so much. So whoever is here, if you want to go ahead and drop in the chat where you're joining from, how you found out about One World Revolution, the music project, which is my baby, my creation. And have you ever felt lost at some point in your life? So feel free to drop it in there. This is a safe space. Is anybody here besides my mom and dad? I don't even know if they're on a cruise somewhere. All right, well, we either have shy people or my technology is not working, one or the other. So I'm just going to go ahead. Oh, here we go. We got Paula. Hello. I'm guessing you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up or some kind of symbol if you can hear me. Virginia. Okay, I guess everybody's cool. Everybody can hear me. Awesome. Great. Virginia. Awesome. Vampy one. Well, cool. Just learning my music. Awesome. Where are you from, Paula? I live in the internet lands. Well, I hope you are enjoying what you are discovering here with our music. And Michigan. Okay, right on. I have actually not ever been, I don't think. I've been to a lot of places, but I actually don't think I've been there, but I will at some point. So I'm going to dive in and get started because I also want to stay on track and be aware of everybody's time. I want to give about 30 minutes here and, keep it to the point. That's why I have the script, because I can get off point really quick. Oh, does that go up when I leave? Oh, nice. I've heard. I would like to check it out. I have a friend from Detroit who's always bragging about it. So, like I said, I will eventually get there. Okay. So the song Lost, it deals with the theme of being lost and disconnected, but then sort of finding yourself again through struggle and then choosing after fighting the battle to become who you set out to be. So I look at that as like a broad scale theme. Like I don't have like one area of my life that's been like, I was like lost there. I look at it as a continual theme that happens throughout life. Because we're humans, we feel emotions, and we're just always going to be inside of some kind of loop in some way. Lost, disconnection, and then becoming. So for me, being lost occurs whenever I find myself forcing things to happen or forcing things to work. And usually what happens is that leads to frustration, irritation. If I don't necessarily stop myself and see what's going on, it can lead to anger, resentment. And then if I really just spiral out, I'm in depression and hopelessness, and even know what hit me. But I've gotten pretty good at being able to decipher where I'm at and shift my state pretty quickly, which is kind of why I wanted to jump on here with y'all and just give you some pointers on how I've done that with my life and see if it can help you. Because, like I said, this project is more than music. It's about connection, and it's about helping everybody create the one world revolution. So usually what happens is you have an internal shift, and you're going along and you're going along. You're like, why is this not working? Why do I just keep banging my head up against the wall with this? And I'm angry and I'm frustrated, and this is going on, right? Well, I'm disconnected from the source of all that is. And you can call that whatever you want. If you're religious, maybe you call it God. If you're more spiritual, you might call it source. You might call it the universe, your higher self, creation, your higher power, whatever you want to call it. It's that thing that's outside of you, that's also inside of you, that's greater than you. And when we connect to that, we just really are in a state of love. And when I say love, I mean all of the states encompassed within a love-based state. Like you have inspiration, joy, happiness, peace, calm, like everything that's encompassed within a love-based state. Because there are basically two emotional states. There are either fear-based states or love-based states. And you're only going to be on one side or the other. You can't be in both at the same time. So the key is when you realize that you are disconnected, you're now lost from that connection. You lost that connection. How do I get back to that? And the first thing, one of the things I do is I take a pause from what's going on. I step back and I kind of put on this lens, I call it, of like being an outside observer of what's going on. So I'm kind of like this third party off to the side, being like, hey, what's going on with this situation over here? Let me just observe and see what's happening. So I kind of take on that role. And then from there, I'll realign my emotional state, maybe do some breath work, maybe just sitting with myself quietly, going inside until I find myself sort of shift back into a love-based state. Because at that point, I can actually tune into intuition, and that helps bring clarity, and it helps me to actually move forward inside of alignment. Because you can't really move forward if you're not in alignment. You're just going to keep cycling. Some people refer to it as you will experience the same reality until you get the lesson and move on from it. So it's kind of like that concept. So let me just check in. Is everybody kind of resonating with this? You kind of understand where I'm coming from? Is it vibing with you? Are you like, what is she talking about? Like, I just thought she was like a musician and she's talking crazy talk and stuff. I don't know about all this emotional stuff. I didn't come here for that. But it's a big theme in the music. It's a big, if you listen, really dive into all the lyrics are always, they're presenting these themes, and they're presenting like the problem and how you move through it. Because I find like a lot of us, we just don't know what to do next. We get kind of stuck in how we should move forward. And a lot of us, I did this myself for many, many years. 20 years ago, I've been sober for a little over 20 years now, but my thing was, let me numb out and let me check out from my life because it's hard right now and I don't want to deal with it. But as my esteemed mentor and teacher, Joey Klein, often says, the only way out is through, which will bring us to the message breakdown. So we kind of have this theme going with the Song of Lost, where it's like, you're not lost, you're becoming. And then we have our little mantra to go with that of built through struggle, refined by truth, and then aligned in purpose. So let's unpack each of these little sections. So we got built through struggle. What exactly does that mean? Well, first we have to redefine our relationship with struggle, because a lot of us see struggle as like we're failing, we're not good enough, we're not doing it right, we're not worthy of it, like all those sort of like core human wounds, I call them, of like unworthiness and shame and guilt and all those kind of things. They just kind of run rampant in the human race, period, no matter who you are and what you are. Those are just core wounds that we all seem to have in some way. So we've got to reframe struggle to not see it as failure, but to see it as formation, right? Like you sharpen iron through the fire, right? And then I saw something somewhere about silver and how you refine silver. It's by putting it in heat until everything burns away except for the silversmith's reflection in the silver. And that's how they know it's finally done. It's kind of that concept. So it's like, yeah, it sucks in the moment, but if we go through it courageously, we're going to come out on the other side a brand new person, someone better than we were before, someone more capable, more resilient. And, that's kind of what we should be aiming for, is to always be leveling up who we are, how we're showing up with others, and becoming the best version of ourselves that we are, and being in competition to our old self, not other people, not other things outside of us, but be in competition to who we were yesterday. Can we be better than that person today? Can I be better than the person I am right now an hour from now? And like just start living life through that way, but that's going to come with struggle, because you can't build something new without tearing something down first. So what struggle has taught me is that without struggle, there is no formation. And without formation, there's no growth. And again, it's all about growth. And how can we keep growing and getting better? Our next one is refined by truth. So what does that mean? Whose truth? What is truth? Like that word gets thrown around a lot these days. And depending on who's talking, they think they have the truth, right? This truth is more personal. And this is the truth of you being able to look at yourself, where you really are, and the situation that's around you, right? We tend to, when we lose our connection, we're no longer aligned, and now we're in fear-based states, we tend to then start pointing fingers outwards, blaming, shaming, everything outside of us. It's because of them. They said this and that's why, and that kind of thing. But is that the reality? Is that the truth? Right? Because a little breakdown, you can think about relationships, and this goes for all relationships, not romantic, alone, any relationship. There are 3 parts to a relationship. There's yours, there's the other person's, and then there's the relationship itself. And what are you bringing to it, and what are they bringing to it, and how does that all collide and mesh together? So are you willing to look at the reality of that situation, not what you want it to be, not what you think it should be, not what your version's supposed to be in order to make you happy, not the potential of what it could be, but what it actually is, what it's showing you that it is right now. The best example of this is a romantic relationship, right? Unrequited love, right? So I like somebody, they don't like me the same way, right? But I think if I can just show them, how great I am and all my great personality traits and all the things, and I can, be there for them and buy them things, or like whatever it is, right? To try to fit them into this sort of fantasy box that I've put them in, because I see the potential of a relationship But the reality is there's never going to be one because they don't feel the same way. And they're never going to feel the same way. And by my avoidance of that reality, I just create suffering for myself. And if I'm not willing to face the truth of that reality, I'm going to suffer long and hard. Or I can face it and be like, okay, cool. It's not a personal rejection, because nothing's ever a personal rejection. It has to do with alignment and resonance. And you can actually look at it as a blessing in that, oh, cool. Okay, well, probably they weren't meant for me or my soulmate or the one, and all these like Hollywood delusions that we've put on romantic relationships. It's like, oh, okay. Let me kind of do my work on myself, because it hurts, right? It hurts when somebody like rejects you, but get yourself back in place, and then you can turn it around and be like, okay, great. Now I'm free to find the person who is in alignment and who is in resonance and who is going to choose me, and we're going to choose each other mutually. So facing the truth, and then letting go of the stories that go along with that. Again, like, yeah, but how we meaning make like, but they said this, they texted me this, so it's got to mean this, and you're deciphering the heck out of this text that was like, hey, have a nice day. And they were just like wishing you a nice day, and you're like, oh, they're in love with me, they wished me. Like, no. You gotta stop telling the stories and look at the reality of the situation. What are the actual facts, the truth of the situation? And what's your truth? What are you doing there? And be truthful with yourself. It's painful, and we try to avoid that because that's what we're wired for. We're wired to avoid pain, and we're wired to seek pleasure, which is why addiction is such a huge problem in the world, why promiscuity is a huge problem in the world, why toxic relationships are just, a thing. It's because we aren't willing to see the truth and step into that and own it. And we keep telling stories, and Hollywood really doesn't help. Like, let's face it, rom-coms are not reality. And then the third thing about refining the truth is taking ownership. Again, taking full ownership of these are my feelings, these are my emotions, these are my stories, and this is what I'm bringing to the situation, and I'm owning it. I'm owning my part. That's what it means to be refined by the truth. The third thing is aligning with purpose, or aligning in purpose. A lot of people get hung up on purpose. Oh, I don't know what my purpose is. You don't really need, like, we are made in the image of the Creator, however you want to name the Creator. So that means we're creators, right? The biggest sign of us being creators is procreation, right? That's our biggest example of how we create. We procreate, right? But we also create all the time. We create with our thoughts. We create with our emotional state, which drives our thoughts, which then drive our actions, which drive how we show up, which drives the stories we tell, which drives the perception, how we see the world. So we are creators, hands down. Now we can create consciously, unconsciously. And we have to learn the art of creating consciously, which is where alignment and purpose comes in, because we have to align in purpose. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means that we have to know what it actually feels like when we are in alignment. So that means, and this is not going to sit well for all of those who don't think they have emotions and they're very intellectual, we have to get in touch with our emotions and our feelings and see what's actually driving our intellect, because emotions come first. Like, this is hard neuroscience. Emotions come first. Everything we do is based on emotions. It's based on either an emotion we want to feel or an emotion we're feeling in the moment, and that causes us to act a certain way, or we do a thing because we think it's going to make us feel a certain way. But the key is the emotions are first. So we have to get really good at determining what we're feeling. That comes through a little exercise that I like to do. It's just a self-awareness exercise, because you have to be really self-aware. And it's simply just sitting with myself, getting rid of all distractions, dimming the lights a little bit, just taking some deep breaths, kind of getting in my body, getting centered. And then just breathing and observing as the mind starts going down the to-do list, the shopping list, all the lists, all the things, all the rants, whatever it's going to be doing, and just sitting and observing it without judgment, without, oh, that's a horrible thought, I shouldn't think that, or whatever. Just being open to who am I? How am I showing up? Because if you sit with yourself in that way, as an outside observer, you're going to see how you show up. Because how you are anywhere is how you are everywhere. So if you start paying attention without judgment, again, it's not like, oh, I shouldn't be thinking that, that's bad, oh, that's negative. Like, get rid of the whole good, bad, positive, negative, all that stuff, because it's a disservice. You either got a love-based state going on, or you got a fear-based state going on. And what's inside of those? And fear-based states are not right, wrong, good, bad. They are indicators of where you are. It's that simple. So if you're in a state that you don't want to be in, you can shift out of it. You just have to get back into alignment with yourself and allow it to move through you and shift, and it will. So once you get back into that love-based state, and again, love-based state can be, I feel calm, I feel peace, I am content, I am centered, I'm elated, I'm joyful. Like, these are all love-based states. It's not just love, it's love-based states, right? So once you get in there, that is when you can actually create your purpose. You can get clarity on what your purpose is, and then you can align with it. You can connect with intuition, which is going to help you along the journey, along the path of fulfilling your purpose, whatever that is for you. Like, maybe you're a parent and you just want to be the best parent you can possibly be, and that's going to be your purpose. And then you look at ways at how you can do that for your kids, how you can show up and make your kids, feel whatever you want them to feel, right? So you choose your purpose, right? Like, long time ago, I am a Gen Xer over here. Long time ago, when I was about 13 years old, I decided my purpose was to be a musical artist. Write songs, sing, play guitar, play instruments and whatnot. And that's what I stepped into, and I've made it my purpose ever since. And it's been quite a journey. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. So you just align, choose your purpose. Let me do a little check-in while I also, let me see if I can, because my light came on to get rid of blue light, and it's making me look all funky, and I don't know if I can do this right now. Let me see. Everything's running really slow. Display. Turn that off. There we go. Everything's back to normal. There we go. Quick little check-in. If this is hitting you guys, if you're resonating with this, if you're digging it, drop a little heart, something in the chat. Let me know. I haven't just completely lost you. And we'll continue on. Keep an eye on the time here. We got about 5.5 minutes left. So let me take a little bit of a pause here as well. Sorry, I'm sucking on some voice drops because I live in Las Vegas. It's a desert. It's very dry. And it just dries out my throat tremendously. And that's not really a good thing if you're a singer. You need to keep this moisturized and lubricated and all the things. So anyhow, I just want to check in. See where everybody's at. See if there's anything that you're currently moving through that you want to share. If there's anything where you feel stuck right now you want to share. Who or what are you trying to become? If you want to share that, go ahead and drop it in the chat and we can talk about it. See if we can't move it next level. And then little chat's being silly. Anyhow, little shameless plug. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. I don't know where all the buttons might be, where the things are. Subscribe to the channel. Go watch the video for Lost. Give it a thumbs up. Drop a little comment. Really helps with pushing it through cyberspace and getting more eyes on it and more people finding this music and, helping everybody join the revolution, And then stay connected. I am easily, at this point in time, I am still very easily accessible. If you're on the VIP email list and you respond to an email when it goes out, that comes directly to my inbox. I see it. I respond to it. We'll have a conversation on my Instagram, which is mainly where I'm at. If you're either on my personal account or the band account and you DM, comes directly to me. I see it. I read it. I reply to it. This band, this project is about connecting and creating that one world revolution. All right. Well, let me move through here. Just give you a little bit of some tools and takeaways on your journey. So when you find yourself lost, disconnected, out of alignment, take a pause, step back, reframe the struggle, take ownership of your emotions, align with love. And if you catch yourself, my cat, if you catch yourself with some negative self-talk going on, just ask yourself, whatever space that's sort of got you worked up a little bit, in that space, what is it that you actually want to create in that space? Like, let's say it, we'll just, because everybody sort of wants this thing. I don't understand why, but they do. A romantic relationship, right? It's maybe on the rocks, or you're in the early phases, whatever, and you're wanting connection. But the things that are happening aren't necessarily connecting, right? So when you're kind of in that moment where you're wanting to bring in like the negative self-talk or start ranting or whatever it is, take that pause and step back, get in alignment, shift your state, and be like, okay, I want to create connection here. What can I rant on that's going to bring connection, right? Like, the mind's going to rant. That's what the mind does. It's obsessive and it's going to rant, and there's nothing you can do about that. But you can direct it to what's something to rant on. So which direction do you want to create? Do you want to create more of what you've been creating? Well, keep up the rants you're on, because that's what's happening. It's only going to get worse, right? Or you can be like, okay, connection is the new thing that I want over here. So what can I rant on that's going to lead towards connection? And just go, just have at it. I feel connection here because XYZ, and just start telling those stories of why there is now connection there. But make it about like you. What are you bringing to it? What are you bringing to the space? Regardless of what the other person's doing, you don't even need to talk to them. They don't even need to be in the room. They don't need to be anywhere in the equation. It just needs to be you in your mind ranting like it is anyhow. Just redirect it over here instead of over there. You know what I'm saying? So, little tip. And then, what's one daily action that you can take to move towards living in alignment most of the time, right? We're never going to be there all of the time. That's not the way life works, right? There's always going to be something that triggers us, that sets us off, that, does all the things. How we choose to show up and how we choose to create moving forward, that's on us. That is our conscious choice to choose. So what's one action step you can take every day to just start moving into living life that way? Just, however if you journal or whatnot, just ask that as a journal question. What can I do to create more alignment with love-based states in my life? What are something, and just journal them out. It was a stream of consciousness. Journal that stuff out. All right, awesome. So we are a little bit over. I wanted to keep these around 30 minutes each, attention spans and all that. And this is a new thing, and I don't know how it's going to work or if it's going to work. But if you liked it, I don't know if the chat stays available after I end the live or not. So if not, find me on the socials and message me. Say, hey, I was in the live stream. I really dug it. Do some more. I'm going to do more. I'm just kind of feeling things out right now. Like I said, this is my very first one, but I want to keep going because I want to create this connection, and I want to expand on what One World Revolution means and what it was created for. So in closing, remember, subscribe, watch Lost, give it a thumbs up, have a comment, share it somewhere, stay connected. And remember that wherever you are right now, you're not behind, you're not broken, you're becoming. And I'm really glad you're still here. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing me, but you showed up for yourself because you learned something that can help you, see life in a different way, maybe hopefully in a better way. Hopefully I've inspired a little bit of, life doesn't have to be so hard, So let's spread the love, let's spread the joy, let's spread the peace. And I will see y'all next time. Thank you so much.